Apologies for taking so long to get around to completing this series. I actually had done all the videos and then ended up formatting my computer because I thought I had already uploaded the videos to YouTube. I just hadn't released them, but turns out I hadn't. So here we are, we're back and I'm running through them again. So hopefully I can improve some things maybe that I hadn't explained clearly in the videos that you didn't see. So what we've got here is we've got our world, and what we're going to add is the hurt animation. The last thing we were up to is the enemy moving around. We could interact with it, but we couldn't really do anything. So first thing, we're going to go into the player code, and we're going to add a little script here, which we'll expand upon later. Firstly, we are going to add a little bit of code, and we're going to just store the player's start position. It's going to equal their global position, which is at the start of the game where they start. So we'll come back to that later. Then we're going to add in a function called reset. And we're going to say global position equals start pos. When we reset the game, we do that. We're going to set the physics process to true, and you'll see why shortly. And we're going to say enum state equals state.idle. So we'll reset them there. Now we are going to expand this function later so that it reduces lives and a few other things, but for now, this is all we need. Now I'm going to go into the player scene itself and to our animation player, and we're going to add in, we're going to expand upon this hurt animation here. So I'm going to make it go for 2 seconds. And I'm just switching between multiple things here. Okay, so I'm going to make it go for 2 seconds, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit. I can hold control and zoom in, or use this little mouse so I can see what's going on. I'm going to grab those 2 frames, just these 2 here, and duplicate them. I think, how do I duplicate? Control D, no, Control C, and then I'll move it here. What have I done? Oops. Control C. I want to, I'm not sure why that's not working. Oh, I think I have to actually be on the animated sprite. No, animation player. Let's just see why it's not working. Duplicate keys. Oh, there we go. Don't know why. And then I'll move it to 0.8. And I will duplicate keys again. And I'll just do the same thing. Last there. Duplicate keys. So if I go 2D and zoom in on it and play this animation now, you'll see that it plays through for 2 seconds with the little stressed out thing. Okay, then what I'm going to do is I am going to add in a position for this. So for this, I'm going to use the animated sprite. I think I will just check. No, I actually want to. I've just got to check my previous project because I haven't done this one for a while. Animation player. Animation. Is it this that's changing? Yes, it is. It's the sprite. Okay, so here's a little bit tricky. So what we're doing is we're going to move this up and then down. And to do that, I'm going to zoom out a little bit so you can see it. I'm going to switch to my animated sprite 2D. Now that's going to remove the animation tree editor down the bottom, but I can switch back to it by pushing animation down here. And then I'm going to keyframe that position. So I'm going to keyframe it here. And I actually want to use Bezier curves for this. And then I'm going to move to about 3 seconds, 3.5 seconds, somewhere around there, 4 seconds, or 0.4 second. And I'm going to move this animated sprite node up. So I'm actually just going to drag this here to about there, minus 60, and keyframe that. Then at 1.1, I am going to keyframe it again, but I'm going to keyframe it all the way down to like, I don't know, 160, somewhere there. So now if I play the animation, it goes up and then down like that. So a little death animation that'll take it off the screen, and that's all working well. So now, oops, going back to the animation player, there's one more thing that I want to do. And I need to add a track. This is a call method track on the player. And the method that I want to call, I'm going to call at the end here. Right click, insert key. And you'll see how this is why Godot is so great, especially with its animation editor. You can do a whole lot of really cool stuff. So I love this feature. I want to reset. Now, why did that not work? Function, insert method. Oh, sorry. It should be there. Oh, I know why it's not there. It's because I haven't saved the script. So I'll do that. Insert key. There it is. Script methods. Reset. Open. So that's going to reset. There's one other method I need to add right at the start. Here, insert key. And this is going to be set physics process to false. And now you'll see that's why we set the physics process back to true here. So the physics process is set to false. That way nothing in physics is going to move. The player's not going to move. The enemy's not going to move. And then we reset this back to normal. That's pretty much it. So I can test this out now. Nothing's going to happen at the moment, actually, because I don't think we've made our characters collide with the world. So that's not going to happen, but it hasn't crashed, so that's good. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to add into our player an area node. And I'm going to call this hitbox. And then I'm going to add a collision shape 2D. Now for this here, we are going to make it, if I go to here, I'm going to make it a circle. And that's actually pretty good. I think that that's fine. We'll have to play around with some layer stuff in a little bit, but that's all good. Okay, so that there, collision shape, hitbox. Right now, if we go and put this here, so we add a signal, and we're going to, the signal that we're going to add is going to be, we're actually going to add both things, area entered. We'll go back to the signals, body entered. So those there. And the code that we're going to write is going to be very simple. We're going to create a new function here called enemy checker. And this is going to accept an enemy. I'm just going to write pass for now. You'll see what this does. We're going to say enemy checker area, enemy checker body. So what's going to happen is these signals are going to trigger when a physics body enters that area or when another area enters it. The reason we do both of these is because the bird is just an area node. It has no physics property, but the little animal that runs back and forwards, I can't remember what it's called now, it's been 6 months. The little animal that runs backwards and forwards is a physics body. So we just want to check both of those, but then we're going to pass it into here and deal with it. So we're going to say if body dot is in group enemy and velocity dot y is greater than 0. This means we're falling. We're going to say body dot die. We're going to make the enemy die. I'll have to double check that should say enemy, sorry. Not body. Enemy and enemy. And our velocity dot y is jump velocity. We're going to bounce off the enemy. But elif body dot is in group hurt anim state equals state dot hurt. And I keep writing body instead of enemy. That's because my old code used body, but I figured that enemy would make more sense here. So this will also work for traps or any other area that will hurt the player because, first of all, it won't be in the group enemy. It'll just be in the group hurt. Also, if you jump into it or walk into it from the side, it will do the same thing. So let's just check our enemies here, make sure that they actually are in the group. So groups, it's in hurt, but we'll put that in enemy as well. And the opossum is also in hurt, but we'll put it in the enemy group too. Now these enemies do not have, I don't think, they do have a code. Ooh. Oh, they did have the code that said die. And then because I have made some changes to this, they don't actually have that. So let's just put in this code, funk die. We'll just say Q3 for now. On there and on this one as well. Funk die. Okay, we can test that. So go to the world. Hopefully, if I walk into the enemy, okay, no. That did sort of work. Not quite what I was expecting. But over here, okay, let's just try and jump on the enemy. Okay, that worked, but we didn't actually die. So let's see why that would be the case. State.hurt, animation player.play. Hurt if enemy is in group. Enemy and velocity is that. LP, if now, what have I done different? I think I might have. Yep, I got one code here. If enum state equals state dot hurt return. We don't want to let it switch out of that. Assignment should be double equals. We don't want it to switch out of that. So now I should be able to. There we go. Okay, now we'll fix up other things later, such as why he's still dying there and what's going on, but we'll fix that up in the next video.